Usual first question at your media calls. You still happy with her?
Yeah, no, she's great. As you can see, she's in great physical condition. I think her first up run's brought her on, and very pleased with her.
Brought her on in terms of improvement. Did you expect to see that from her?
Oh yeah, listen, she's cleaned up in the coat a bit. She's a little bit brighter. She's a bit lighter on her feet, so she knows it's game time again. So she's couple of little bits of work since the last run. Had to probably do a little bit more. The race didn't take a lot out of her, so she's had a couple of nice gallops, and she's looking forward to Saturday.
What does that mean in terms of the extra work? What sort of gallops changed for you?
Oh no, just probably a little bit more emphasis on the fact that we made her do a little bit more work between the two runs. She's a good doing mare. She carries great condition, so you've just got to keep her up to the mark.
This race still maps out the program you originally set, so things are still on target, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to Saturday. Great day, Cox Plate Day, and then towards Flemington and possibility of Perth, as suggested previously, on the end of it.
Are you disappointed that only 4 other horses are going to be running Saturday? Does it take away the challenge a bit?
Oh, I suppose it's a bit disappointing for racing, full stop. But we're getting into the carnival, back end of the carnival. Attrition rates build up. There's a lot of terrific races out there for other horses. Like Caruda Queen that ran second to her the other day. She can run in a 3-year-old race for nearly as much prize money. So common sense approach there. And we've got so many tremendous sprints coming up. There's good options. You've got the Salinger at Flemington, and there's numerous stakes races up the straight at Flemington throughout the carnival. So I suppose trainers are a bit selective in not wanting to butt heads with her and give themselves every opportunity to win a race.
Also the intimidation factor, isn't it? Some would be scared to take you and her on, wouldn't they?
Well, not me. I'm a pushover, but obviously her. But there's a lot of good prize money behind it too. But I think horses that are butted heads, it's suggested that she might be breaking a few hearts. You probably wouldn't be so keen on going into her each occasion. So you're sort of getting a slightly fresh batch each time that are happy to have the spin against her and then maybe peel off to something that they can win.
We saw Sepoy accept for the Pattern Act first up. It's an unlikely I'll challenge. You obviously, you want to relish that challenge in the Pattern?
Yeah, oh listen, we're going there. So there's no only way we won't be there if some misfortune falls upon us. So we'll be there. It's been known for 6 months we'll be there. So it's a matter of, if he wants to be there, so be it.
Last year in the Pattern Act coming up against Haylist, it really set up Stakes Day. I mean, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it, to see Black Caviar go up against Seaport?
It'd be great for racing. It would be. Like you say, last year it was a big windfall for racing. Full stop. Haylist coming in on a slightly different form line. So no, listen, I think it'd be tremendous for racing, and certainly, it's something I wouldn't run away and hide from. He's a hell of a horse, Sepoy, and bearing in mind that he's only a 3-year-old and a baby compared to her, but it certainly would set up a tremendous clash.
What about the Melbourne Racing Club's desire to bring Frankel out and be the only horse that's rode ahead of it?
Yeah, listen, once again, that would be tremendous for racing on a world stage, wouldn't it? I don't think there'd probably be a lot of attraction to Frankel's owners to want to do that, but it's certainly something we'd love to see happen. Probably a 1,400 metre trip, her being a 6 furlong horse and he being a miler, 7 furlongs would probably be an ideal trip for both horses to maybe clash. And, one of those things, it's a bit of a pipe dream, but you never know.
Wouldn't put it in a mile?
Listen, we might next year. She'll have a first try at 1,400 in the autumn, and I've always felt that she'd be a terrific miler. So, once again, never say never, but one thing, we're going to Europe next year, all being well, and the difference between their tracks and ours is that they're quite testing. So, you equate a lot of their 6 furlong races to 7s and so on because they're uphill and down dale, where we generally race on the flatter tracks. So, it'll be great for racing worldwide if those two horses can meet.
There are so many people and cameras here today, Pete. Is this almost important in terms of the horse's education? Because I noticed Black Caviar is now getting enormous attention in the stalls on race days.
Yeah, well listen, she's learnt to cope with it, as you see, not too much flusters, and now a couple of years ago she would have been running over the top of the cameras, but now she takes it all in a stride and handles it very well. So I think she's well into that educational process. I think she's starting to learn that she's pretty special, and she strikes a pose for the crowd or the cameras these days.
Pete, you said before her last run coming to this one that she had improved. She was a stronger horse. Do you still feel that now, that that improvement's still coming through her?
I think so. I think so. I really think she's probably at the peak of her powers now. She's had no issues physically or mentally. She's in great shape, where previously she's had probably little niggles here and there, but this time round everything's 110%.
So Peter, who comes second on Saturday? Scenic Blast, no lightweight?
Doubtful Jack, hopefully. Stablemate. Listen, it's all up for grabs, but I'd love to train the Quinella.
How far behind her is he, Doubtful Jack?
He's a fair way, and depends how, I suppose, what Luke wants to do on her. We've never said about winning by big margins or running records. He'll go out and do enough to win the race, and good luck to those behind, and hopefully we are in front.
But was there any issue with that feed problem you had? You changed suppliers or whatever? Any real scare with her when it comes to that issue?
There's always a scare with every horse in your stable when you have those sort of things, but hopefully that's behind us. But once again, you never say never. I think it's a issue like we're talking about contamination of our feed. That's usually you have these problems in the winter months where you have a lot of wet times, and foreign matter can grow in the crops that we do feed the horses.
You all but upstaged the guineas. Are you going to upstage the Cox Plate on Saturday?
Listen, I can't control that. It's a great day's racing. It's our Weight for Age Championship, and I don't think anything could ever take away from that. I'm just happy to be a part of it on the day, and I think I'm more than a bit player in that race as well.
Yeah, what about King's Race, Pete? Where's she at, and how's your centre up to start?
Listen, I think she's a super chance in the race. It comes down to the 3-year-old Helmet. Is he another So You Think? Is he that sort of level of horse? He might be just too good for the older horses. If not, I really think it's a raffle amongst the rest, and I've got a bloody good ticket.
Pete, every time we're out here, we talk about another milestone that Black Caviar takes down. It's 15 this week. You've already peeled off Far Lap.
Yeah, well, listen, you blokes come up with those milestones. I'm just happy to see her sort of winning all the time. Like I said last time when we were talking about Far Lap, I think it's impossible to draw parallels 7 and 8 decades apart. So she's unique in the way that she's never been defeated. That's something that they can never take away from her at this point in time, and hopefully that's the same next week. And, listen, it's great to be mentioned in the same breath as some of the great horses, but I think it's impossible to draw parallels, as I said.
56 straight's the world record. We'll probably rule that one out.
I think we'll all be gone by then.
Can you recite the record runs that she needs to knock off from here?
No, wouldn't have a clue. To be honest, with all respect to the past champions, I wouldn't have a clue.
And she came through her first run okay. How did the trainer do?
Well, it's been a lot more pleasant this week. The pests have stayed in their burrows, and it's been very enjoyable this week. And I suppose with the breakfast with the stars out at Mooney Valley and the Cox Plate, which the emphasis should be on because it is our championship, we've been given a bit of peace and quiet, and we've certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah, how do you handle the pressure, Pete? Every time she steps out, there's a massive weight of expectation on her and on you.
Listen, we've learned to cope with it. It's built more and more each time, but it hasn't been too much of a problem. Like I've always said, it's a pain in the backside, but it's a good one to have. But that's why they created alcohol and tobacco, I think.
You mentioned pests. I was hit by one this morning wanting to get a signed betting ticket. How many slips have you signed in the last few weeks?
I've signed a lot of betting slips that people haven't handed in, so I think bookmakers and Tabcorp should be putting something towards charity, because there's a lot of people out there that didn't worry about collecting. Maybe they should give the people their stake back, and if they want to hold the ticket, don't give them the winnings.